But things are progressing, and the services are still as good as any in the state. They always were, just about the best of any city in the state.
Yes.
And the only thing I see a little bit that concerns me is code enforcement.
Oh, you and a lot of other people.
And I was always, I mean, I always walked in town or city hall every day with a list of things I wanted fixed right away. And I just see a lot of things now that I understand are legal, and it's, you know, trailers in the front yard, and, you know, it just goes on and on and on, and
well, they
kind
seem
of
to
detracts from the.
And there's a double standard too. I see as I go out on my old age walks, places that I can't believe the mess, and then some poor guy in one house made the mistake of extending his driveway just that much because he didn't want to park on the streets. Beautiful house, well manicured lawns. The neighbors had no problems with it. Then code enforcement goes down and makes him undo that. After the county had approved it.
Yeah.
But the city was exercising its powers instead. That's ridiculous. And then you see houses falling down.
Well, I do. I have continued my involvement. As soon as I got to Ocean View, I wrote a new charter for them.
Oh.
And changed their form of government, put term limits in, which
Whoa.
probably, and they didn't even question it, which kind of worries me. But I chair the Planning and Zoning Board now, and I chair the Board of Adjustment. So I keep my fingers in the other side.
And how's code enforcement there?
It's getting very good, and we're hiring, matter of fact, 2 assistants. So now this is for a town of 1,200 people full time.
Yeah.
And it's we have what, 8 cops.
Well, maybe you could come up here and give some lessons.
Hey, I'd be glad to. Yeah, yeah. But that's so important, because if you want to stay in this town and you retire here, and the guy next door to you is a slob, and nobody will do anything about it, you get disgusted after a while, and you say, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, exactly.
And I can probably name you 15 people that I know that said that. And you know, Fred can't take. That's not his job.
No.
It's got to be an ongoing job. It's got to be an everyday job that's done every day. It can't just be done on once a year we're going to take and we're going to go do this. You got to do it every day. And I'm sure the code enforcement people are good here, but I just
they're just
don't think they
overburdened, perhaps.
But you know, the thing about it, you see things when you drive through the neighborhood. John and I do too. And what bothers me, from what I understand from a few cases, they seem to, one person living in town is constantly complaining about everybody on the block. That occupies all of this particular inspector's attention a few years ago when I talked with her. And I said, "Why are you on the street so often?" Because I had a neighbor there, someone parked the wrong direction, called him. Somebody had this, called him. And this is the difference. Those inspectors can see problems. They can, if they check the city out as they normally should, they can see problems. In addition to the customers' complaints or the citizen complaints too, Dave. But those obvious problems that we see, are they ignored? That's the question I have.
Well, you know, sometimes people wait till somebody calls and complains, and then unfortunately you got to be I'm not going to use the word proactive. I hate it, but you got to be aggressive in your enforcement if you want your city to stay looking as good as Bowie has always looked. One of the things I was proud of when I retired, almost 1/3 of the city of Bowie was green space.
Yeah, yeah.
And you know, and it was
not
just
anymore.
Yeah, and it's
still.
Aren't you shocked when you come back to Bowie and look at this commercial development?
Glenn Denning and I almost split our friendship over 197.
Yeah.
When we said no to him. And and when this council recently said yes to him, I couldn't believe it. Because this is a gateway into the city. I know. It's beautiful.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and now it's going to look like you're going down through somewhere inside the Beltway with the chain link fences, and it's just terrible. And I would have got the state delegates to go up and do Church Road.
I'm not sure what the state delegates do.
No, I don't either. But it seems to me Church Road would have been another exit
up
Church
there?
Road. Yes.
It's humongous.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the road is terrible. They expanded with the turf area, but all that other is dangerous travel.
Yeah.
And there's potholes down that road that I've traveled 20 years on. They repatch them. It's a narrowing of the road where there's a big tree. It's county, has got to do that, but the city has got to voice their concerns about stuff like that.
Well,
that's not enough.
I always hoped that one day we would develop, and it was always my dream, the bike trails from Bowie to Bowie State University.
Yeah.
Because the cost of going to school is enormous, and if your son or daughter could hop on a bike and ride over to school, and just think of the type of use that the locals going to the local college, it become kind of almost a semi-college town. And Jim Lyons had that plan too.
Well, he was an interactive president.
But he couldn't get anybody over there to cooperate because of tenure.
We still have the same problems with Bowie State University. I don't see any communications between the city and Bowie State. And of course, it is not part of Bowie. People don't realize that.
But it's still, I mean, it's just could be.
It could be.
Yeah.
Well, Dick, there's one thing that you really championed as we're moving into our few innings to the end. You championed the Chamber of Commerce for Bowie during one of your elections, as I remember. And of course, I was invited to participate. John was, Jim Cronk, who was with the city.
Charlie Moore.
And Charlie Moore spent a lot of time with it.
City exec.
Dan Sherry.
Dan Sherry, yeah.
And Dan Sherry, he was charter member and charter board member.
And our president of our bank, what was his name?
Bill Walters.
Yeah, and
then it was Tom Shepner.
Tom Shepner.
Tom Shepner. Well, Bill Walters was still
he was
involved in the
But there was a lot of people on the peripheral that really helped.
Yeah.
But
John and I met a lot down there with Bill Walters. As we started the associations and all, and I'll never forget that Walt Planet asked me when we started the association, because that was before your election, before you talked chamber, and he said, "Why do you think?" And I mentioned this on the program before. When do you think you're going to be successful with this business group when in the past there's many that start and fail? And I told him it's leadership, not only from the business people and the people in the community, but the city has got to offer leadership. Well, you did that.
Yeah, you did.
During your election, Dick. And I appreciate that.
I hate to say something positive about you, but
well,
21 years I did one thing right.
Well, you see, that's part of the thing, John. There's one thing about it, when you hear about a beer bash, you didn't worry about which kind it was. You went over and had a beer. And that's why I first met Dick.
But the beauty of the beer bash is the beauty of that era is people took an interest in the election. People went out and voted, not humongous numbers, but substantial.
Sure.
And that's gone. I mean, it's just doesn't it shock you, or do you really pretty much feel that's the way things are going to go?
Like you say, the interest in the election is driven by the local papers and by the candidates.
Yes.
And if the candidates, I don't care what they say, if they're unopposed, they're saying, it's too bad. But let me tell you, they go, damn, I'm unopposed, Okay. But I will tell you, that's what drives the election.
Well, I've just been informed by the great powers that be in the office that we have to wrap. We have a couple of minutes. Give us your thoughts on contemporary Bowie very briefly and how important the coming election is.
Well, any time that you have people who are making the decisions on what's going to affect your quality of life, I don't understand how you cannot be interested. You've got to say, hey, this affects me, and I don't want some turkey up there who can't speak or add 2 and 2, or he's got some personal agenda making the decisions for our town. We need a group of people in there, and it's imperative that we get together and elect the right people who will make the right decisions for the town. And
well said. And absolutely on the mark, too. Thank you very much. It was great seeing you.
It was good seeing you guys.
One of your infrequent visits to our humble community, and thanks very, very much.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, Dick.
Bert,
good to have you with us.
See you at the river, huh?
I'll see you then. This picture.
Oh, and thank you, viewers. We'll see you next week.
But what a history of politicians there.